Previously on Our Electric Lives, you saw us leave Buc-ee's in Sevierville, drive through the Smokies, and up Kuwohi, and back down the mountain to Bryson City, where we spent 4 amazing days in the most beautiful setting, never needing a supercharger. And now we are heading to Chattanooga for the last installment of our summer trip. We go a full week without supercharging, even in our travels from Bryson City to Chattanooga. We will bring you all of our EV travel data, and we'll be seeing what Chattanooga has to offer before heading back to Florida, where it all began. When you last saw us, we were charging up one final time in Bryson City before heading off to Chattanooga. This charge will allow us to make it nearly 200 miles to Chattanooga without supercharging, so you won't see us stopping at a charger until we leave Chattanooga and head home. We manage the entire stay in Chattanooga off of trickle charging. But if you are here for supercharging stats, we will include all of our stops on the way home at the end of this video.
We recently arrived at our last Airbnb on our trip, and this one's a little bit more out in the country, so you can see we've got a trickle charging setup going on here, but just plugged in and looks like this will work just fine for us.
our last full day in Chattanooga, we head out to see Rock City Gardens. We once again do not need to stop for supercharging because trickle charging is adding enough charge overnight. Also, right in front of Rock City Gardens is a ChargePoint charger. We were able to secure the spot, and that means we can charge while enjoying the gardens, so no extra hassle to get range. This marks day 7 without supercharging, and for those that don't believe in going electric, we have to say that we don't ever want to go back to gas if we can help it. Just as we don't have to stop at superchargers, we likewise do not have to stop at gas stations.
We're at Rock City here, actually right next to a Starbucks, and we're able to get some destination charging while we visit the attraction. So it worked out well.
The Airbnb was in a master plan community designed with children and families in mind. There are farm animals, a small farm stand, tree houses, and trails on property. You can also rent canoes for the pond or have an outdoor movie night. Our children loved the animals. They were able to get feed from the owners to feed the goats, donkeys, and ducks. We ran into a few random issues at the Airbnb, but it still remained one of our children's favorite stops. We just left Chattanooga a little bit ago, and we left with a pretty decent charge. We're heading towards Atlanta now, and we were just talking about how we've gone for 8 days without having to stop at a supercharger at all. So I have to give Zach some credit because he uses some smart thinking at our Airbnbs and at some of the destinations that we go to. He uses PlugShare and finds charging. So between all of that, we really haven't had to go to a supercharger.
That and having destination charging at the Airbnbs
yes,
is pretty
some of them.
And most of them.
Yeah. So while we were talking about that, our daughter actually asked Zach why our battery indicator is set to miles and not percentage, which I thought was pretty funny because that is a very common topic that I see in the Tesla forums, that a lot of people believe that you should keep your battery indicator on percent. So Zach is going to have to explain himself and why he does not use percent for that.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I look at the indicated range and I can just run the calculation knowing approximately what efficiency we're getting. For instance, highway speeds, we commonly get about 75% efficiency. So it gives me a rough idea of where we're at. That and the fact that the navigation also displays the percent gives me both those data points to go off of instead of just having percent.
So I guess if you didn't use the navigation on a regular basis, it might, for some people, matter to keep it at percent. But we usually have something plugged in.
Yeah, I mean, for daily driving, I don't even really think about it or worry about it because we're percent, you know, for daily driving. So it really doesn't matter. I do happen to know that it uses, you know, for instance, I use 12% of my range to drive to work. So, you know, I happen to know exactly what percentage that is. But, yeah, again, I think it's kind of
When Madison gets a Tesla, we'll let her keep hers on percent.
Well, when I get a Tesla, I'd probably be old enough to understand that stuff. And I can't manage anyways.
Oh, okay. She said when she gets a Tesla, by the way. When.
Well, I'm not getting a Tesla right now. I can't even drive.
All right. Well, let everybody know what percent or mileage we are at when we get to our first supercharger of the day.
So we're making our first stop here in McDonough at a supercharger. First supercharger after 8 days of just destination charging and trickle charging. So it's actually kind of hard to believe we've gone that long without needing to, but it just shows you, you know, a lot of good destination options and whatnot have kept us going. And never underestimate that trickle charging. So this will be a quick stop here, and then we're going to be on our way to Fort Valley Buc-ee's after this. Well, we've made our usual stop here at the Fort Valley Buc-ee's. Everyone used the restroom, got some snacks while the car's charging, and we'll be heading out soon to one final stop before we get home. We are making our final stop of this road trip in Jasper, Florida for supercharging. And this is a perfect example of one of the things I really like about the Tesla network. Look at this location. They have a really good knack of picking good locations. This is right off of I-75. The off-ramp was literally right there. We pulled across the street to pull in here, and we'll be going back on the on-ramp right over there. Can't get any better than that in terms of location and speed on and off the highway. We're going in drive, and here we go.
We just left the supercharger.
Now turn left onto US Highway 129 South.
We have this super long drive to get back on the highway.
I probably could have shaved a couple seconds if this guy didn't go in front of me here.
Oh, no Tesla speed on the on-ramp.
Yeah, I know. He's slowing down my stats here. Oh my gosh. You know, like, I'll go back and do it again.
Nonetheless, as you can see, it's very close, though, to the supercharger.
Despite getting on the on-ramp at 35 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
That's literally what he's doing.